Schemion only has ace high, but he calls.
And that's going to look like magic or lucky or both, but it's neither. It's 100% pure, unmitigated, unadulterated swag.
At our feature table, we are sweating with Daniel Negreanu. We'll only see his hole cards here. Now, there's been an under-the-gun raise from Ole Schemion. Action has been folded to Daniel. He's on the button with King Jack.
And I gotta put in 36. Okay. Power. Is that how see how powerful I play it? Go. Position. C'est bon.
We just lost France.
Fabien Quass, modeling a delightful beard, calls out of the big blind as well.
It is delightful.
And you stay there.
A queen 10-4 flop. Daniel's up and down.
Fabian's probably calling pretty wide when he's getting such a good price.
Action check to the pre-flop aggressor.
This kid doesn't miss many opportunities to c-bet.
Pay.
And Daniel calls.
Pay.
Payer?
Payer means tall. What is payer? Tapis. I didn't want to say that.
Yeah, don't get him confused.
Too late. I already bet the 50. I'm good.
And we just lost French-speaking Canada.
Quass calls as well, so we are still three-way heading to the turn.
All very standard so far. Flop bet was big, but what can we do?
Three of spades on the turn.
I hope we've got some plans to bluff at this when we whiff so hard.
Fabien checks. And Schemion is set to bet again into two opponents, 140,000.
Lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but we still can't fold, can we? We're Daniel Negreanu. We love calling like a vegan loves moral superiority.
There's the call. And Quass folds.
That was a good one. I feel it.
The river card is an 8. Quass with a river 2 pair.
Brutal rib, Fobs.
Schemion slows down, he checks.
Well, pretty much our only shot at winning this hand is to bluff, but not a lot got there on this river. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I think we should give this up. No, we're betting.
225K.
You bet a queen here?
Would I bet a queen?
Yeah.
I would bet Jack 9, 10-8 of hearts, King Queen, pocket fours, and ace queen.
And King Jack. No, wait, not King Jack.
One of those ones. Oh, wait a minute. And also, I got to figure out something else that balances.
Yeah, you
with
might bet
that.
tens.
Huh?
You might bet tens.
3 tens? Yeah, but I would 3-bet him with tens. So it's probably not that.
This is possible.
Huh? I didn't say what I had. I said a range.
No, I was saying, but
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were chiming in.
Yes,
So
it's
I'm
like
still gotta
if you have a range, you're okay.
He's still thinking, so
Yeah.
no offense, gentlemen.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Let him.
Okay, take
I
one.
have this. I don't think I have it. Wait a minute. No, I missed.
Story checks out.
Oh, I had aces.
That wins. Yeah. I needed an ace on the river. That would have been good.
Well, the two players have agreed a deal. They've taken roughly 1.5 million each. They're playing for an additional 50K and the trophy.
That's 50,000 euros and one gigantic piece of swag.
Blind 6120. Schemion limps in from the button with ace 5. Canet does not check his option. He raises with the 10-7. And Schemion calls the raise in position.
Let's play a bigger pot.
Well, that's a nothing flop. Schemion's still ahead with ace high. Canet continues to show aggression. That's 350,000.
I don't think we're going to see Ola call a 3-bet with ace high too often and then fold the flop right away.
He calls. The turn card is a 4. Well, both players now have straight draws. Schemion's open-ended. Canet has a gut shot. He needs a 5.
All the more reason neither of these guys is likely to fold.
Canet continuing to demonstrate strength. 875,000. Once again, Schemion calls. The river card is a 3 pairing the board. So ace high was the best hand before the flop, and it's still the best hand after the river.
Major brickage on the river. I think a bet here gets snapped off by Ole.
I think Cannett's going to give it a go. He's not waving the white flag of surrender. Fires out a bluff of 1.95 million.
It's actually a pretty great run out to call with ace high, just like he did with Fatehi earlier. White flag, more like white swag. Feel like I'm really getting to know Anna here. Sorry.
Schemion thinking this through. He heroes!
You win. 6, right?
Not even.
Really big chip lead for Schemion now. Ace queen suited for Ole Schemion. He just calls. Jason Mercier getting a great price in the big blind. King 7 offsuit.
He's getting mad, pot odds, yo.
He calls as well, and we are going 4-way to the flop. No respect for Phil Ivy's raises.
Well, it is ace 9.
Top pair for McDonald, second pair for Mercier. Schemion and Ivy miss. But it won't stop Ole Schemion betting.
And that is a bizarre lead. I wonder what his plan is here. Looks like he's going to fold out one better hand. Ivy can't really call either. But you can tell he doesn't like it. Not one bit, Schemion, not one bit. Top pair, good kicker. Mike probably can't fold. This is a pretty dry board. In general, not be a great move to lead with value hands. So Mike probably doesn't think Ole looks super strong here either.
Mike does call. We go heads up to the turn.
So lucky you didn't have to do this with Ivy. You think he would have done it? You think he would have stared Ivy down?
Jack of diamonds, and Schemion picks up gut shot outs.
Not sure what Ole's plan was if the board bricked, but I do know this is a good card for him to double barrel now.
And he does bet again, 62,000.
I think this bet is going to get a lot of folds. But he's not playing against any random player. He's playing against Mike Timex McDonald. You don't get to be the first guy to have a yellow Lambo in Waterloo, Canada from falling off the back of the turnip truck. Oh, I guess you do.
Timex folds, and Schemion gets a bit back from McDonald, adding 67,000 to his stack. Folded around to Ole Schemion in the cutoff.
You mentioned we haven't seen Ole for a while. It looks like he went to the mountains for a few months, trained with a Shaolin monk, drank a bunch of rainwater, learned to fight with a stick.
Ace deuce offsuit. Raises to 130,000. Chip leader Ali Reza Fatehi's in the big blind. He's got King 4 of clubs.
Well, that side was real.
Call.
He defends. Heads up to the flop. Well, it's a flush draw for Fatehi. Nada for Schemion, but he still has the best hand, ace high.
One club would be good for Fatehi, but two would be bad.
Ali Reza leads with his draw, 150,000.
It's a draw-heavy board.
Schemion calls.
Little float, lots of runners for Ole.
And Schemion picks up a wheel draw, but doesn't actually need to improve. Ace high still the best hand. Another semi-bluff from Ali Reza, 230,000. Once again, Schemion calls.
Ole must be confident he can win this sometimes without hitting his gut shot.
10 of hearts on the river. The board is bricked out for Ali Reza. He's going to fire again. He bluffs at it, 340k.
There's really only one card Ole's worried about, and that's a 10. What are the chances?
Schemion only has ace high. But he calls.
King high.
And that's going to look like magic or lucky or both, but it's neither. It's 100% pure, unmitigated, unadulterated swag.
Blinds are up again, and in this hand we will sweat with Steve O'Dwyer. He's facing a raise from Ole Schemion.
Sure, we can defend our button, probably ahead of all his range.
Calls 50,000 with ace-7. Jason Mercier folds the small blind. David Benefield in the big blind. He passes as well.
Benefield, good fold. I don't know what it was, but I'm feeling this hand.
Heads up to the flop, which is Jack-5 deuce with 2 spades.
Boy, that's not a very good flop, is it?
Schemion continues for 65,000.
If we were ahead of all his range before the flop, there's a good shot we're still ahead of it now. We can call here, but if the board doesn't improve for us, we're really hoping he just shuts it down.
O'Dwyer calls, 284,000 in the middle. And Steve does improve, an ace on the turn.
Hey, that's good. Unless Ole has an ace, because we're never folding now.
Schemion. Barreling by the looks of things.
We're kind of up a creek if he's got a bigger ace.
143,000.
But this is such a good card for him to keep barreling, we can almost never, ever fold.
O'Dwyer does call, 570,000 in the middle. 1 card to come.
Gulp.
And that card is the king of clubs. Schemion is not slowing down by the looks of things. Remember, those red chips are worth 25,000 each.
Man, come on.
That is a bet of 750,000.
Well, great. This is for our tournament life, but we've put a lot of chips in the middle. We were ahead of all his range, but he's fired on 3 streets. We're one of the best poker players in the world, but we are wearing sleeves. Do we think Ole would triple barrel bluff us when it's pretty clear we've got something and not a lot of chips left to fold? Probably not. Ugh. I hate this.
Well, Steve's already made 1 big laydown today. And he's making another.
Yeah, I think that was a fold.
What did Schemion have? He shows a 6.
I forgot the board already. What was that? Was that anything? Was that beating us?
6-4, complete airball.
Sick bluff.
And Schemion's just taken the tournament chip lead. Antonius has raised with the suited connectors. Schemion calls on the button with ace-5 of clubs. Katai in from the big with king-10. Top pair for Schemion. The flush draw for Antonius. He continues for 100,000 into 2 opponents. Schemion calls. Katai has a gut shot.
I feel like he's a little bit too short to be calling here, though.
So with Katai folding, we're heads up to the turn, which is the queen of diamonds. Am I going to say it? Katai would have got there.
Whoops.
I think more often than not, Schemion's going to lean towards checking here. Antonius can certainly be check calling with better hands than his. If he has a hand like ace-king, ace-10, he might not feel comfortable betting on this board. And when Schemion does check, it's quite interesting because it's very unlikely that he ever checks 2 pair. It's very unlikely that he ever checks a straight. So the best hand he's really ever going to have here is like an ace-10, an ace-9 suited. So Antonius, even though he does have missed hearts and only 7 high, might feel that if he makes a large bet here, he can still get a Schemion to fold a weak ace, which is probably the top of his range right now. I mean, Ole is one of the best players in the world. I'm sure occasionally he's checking them hands because he wants to have stronger hands on the river, but more often than not, on a 2 flush draw board, good shots for straights, you're going to bet them strong hands. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Antonius bet quite large here in the river.
We've seen Schemion make some pretty sick calls in this main event.
He does bet almost a full pot. I remember the one yesterday against Steve Peters where he called with ace high on, I think it was like a queen jack 8 7-4 board or something. It was crazy.
Yeah, this wouldn't even be the sickest.
No, but this is not an easy call. Antonius can bet this size with like a 1 pair hand like ace king. Probably feel pretty confident with ace 10 almost. And then he's going to have some traps on the turn that would attempt to check raise. But it does look like Ole is not believing the story. He's not buying them tickets.
Nice. Calls the 400K and wins a big pot against Patrick Antonius, adding 675,000 chips to his stack.
10-3 offsuit for Ole in the big blind. He calls.
Loose call.
The flop gives Ole a pair of 10s.
Vanessa's almost always continuing here. It's almost a pre-semi bluff with lots of good backdoor turns she can hit.
There's the bet.
And Ole knows this, which means he won't fold a pair.
He calls. Great turn card for Vanessa. She has a flush draw and a straight draw.
So many reasons for her to bet here. She can win the pot now, she can hit her card and win an even bigger pot, she can miss her card and bluff the river, send a fool to the shark cage.
Vanessa's shot clock is running. 10-second warning. She bets.
Ole's still got the best hand.
He calls, which means the prospect of someone being sent to the cage becomes a distinct possibility. Vanessa bricks the river. Ole checks, so if Vanessa bets here, it will be a bluff.
Oh, come on, come on, come on. She knows she's got to bluff this if she wants any chance of winning this pot. Ole's not often calling the flop with worse than 9 high.
Once again, she's in a situation where her time is running out. She's played a time bank chip. She extends her shot clock by 30 seconds.
Come on, put out that bluff card.
Big bet.
Vanessa's running a super sweet bluff here.
And here comes the bluff card.
All the flop draws missed, so this really could go either way. All I know is that Ole Schemion is the leader of the Swagvation army, General Swaggy McSwagger, and I just don't see him getting sent to the cage more than once in an episode. Vanessa's rep is already more aggro than a New York City cab driver.
He's playing a time bank chip.
With the shark cage at play, I think she might get looked up.
Thinking long and hard about this one.
Then again, that would make this the perfect spot to value bet. Wouldn't it?
Of course, if Ole finds a call here, Vanessa's going in the cage. That's time bank chip number 4.
What's the most buttons somebody used in one hand?
I think it's 4.
This.
You could break the record.
Thank you.
He calls!
Value?
Snapped off like a headphone jack and a laptop.
And we're locking up Vanessa.
Pair of 10s for Ole.
That was an easy call. I
Vanessa
would.
over to the cage.
Nobody likes losing, but Vanessa hates it like a Bajoran hates a Cardassian.